Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on, what day is it? Sunday. Totally lost track of my days in these this time between sort of Christmas, New Year and all that. But it is Sunday and it's a day after Arsenal lost 2-1 at the Emirates against Manchester City, and I've just about started to get over it. I think it was, quite a dramatic, emotional day really it was. I mean, there was that. The Emirates was a cauldron of emotion and passion yesterday. Just a fantastic pulsating atmosphere in there. It really was. A noise when Saka scored. My word, that way absolutely took the roof off. If Martinelli had scored that goal at the end of the first half when he went on that run and skinned everyone and put it wide, if that gone in, honestly, I think that might have been the loudest roar the Emirates has ever heard. Everyone, all the fans were bang on it yesterday, like they have been all season. And it was just such a shame how it all panned out in the end in that second half, and the controversy and the way it all went. And it was tough to take. I was coming home from the Emirates last night, sitting on the train, driving home after getting off the train, and I just couldn't get it out of my mind. And this is me talking as a fan rather than a journalist. And it was just such a sucker punch. But having said that, I've got to say I love the fact that I was feeling like that, because for too long now, Arsenal defeats have just kind of been like, oh, it's another one, and almost sort of wash over you. I've just had again, talking as a fan, no affection for, I mean, obviously you support Arsenal for the freaking thing, yes, but in terms of the team and the players, it's been ages since I felt something for them, but I really do about this team. I really, you've got an affection for the players. There's a rapport there. You can really feel it. And that's what I'm talking about, the atmosphere in the Emirates yesterday. And the fact that I was feeling so angry and disappointed and hurt almost by that defeat yesterday was a good thing. It's like the passion for Arsenal is back, and I think that's because this team, these players, you really like these players. You want to go to war for these players. Ramsdale, Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Gabriel, Tierney, Tomiyasu, just players you love watching, and you really feel something for them. And I think that was really sort of exemplified by the feeling after that match yesterday, and by what all the fans were feeling as they were walking past. I was listening to them as you were all streaming out the stadium, walking past me, and they were so angry. So many of you were hurling abuse at the press box, telling us to write, about VAR, about corruption and all that. And we don't normally get that. For the last 3 or 4 years, all we get when fans walk past us in the press box would be them hurling abuse about Arsenal players, saying they're not good, get out of our club, we're a disgrace, how we've fallen and all that sort of stuff. But now it's completely different. It feels different. This is a team that the Arsenal supporters can get behind and want to get behind and want to support. And I think the reaction to yesterday's defeat really sort of exemplified that, as I said. And so, although the defeat was a big negative, and no one wanted to lose like that, and no one wants to end handed, because at the end of the day it's 3 valuable points that have gone away, or certainly 1 valuable point that's gone away. But I still think it's kind of another building step in terms of Arsenal's kind of being reborn in the last year or so, or certainly since the summer. It just feels like this is a team that everyone wants to support now, and everyone wants to back, and everyone wants to defend, and that can only be a good thing. And the atmosphere, home and away, I've talked about it before in these videos, home and away have just been brilliant this season, and I really think that is just because the fans want to get behind these players, because they feel something for them and they believe in them, and they can see what's happening now. And it's impossible. I came away from that game yesterday, disappointed as I was, thinking it is impossible. I don't see how anyone, forget Arteta in or out, what if you want the manager gone, or not, I don't see how you can look at that team, look at the performance yesterday, and look at what we've seen in the last few months, and not see that this is something, that there's something beginning to build at Arsenal now. There is a good team forming at Arsenal, and they more than showed that yesterday in that performance against Manchester City. I mean, they didn't just compete with Manchester City, they outplayed them for 57 minutes until that mad little period, the red card, the penalty. They were by far and away the better team, and for too long now we've seen Arsenal just kind of shrivel up and die in front of the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool, and they didn't do that yesterday. And I think there's some real positives to take. And as more disappointing as it was, I think when today goes by and the players will come back tomorrow to the training ground, there's an awful lot they can take from that performance. And if they can take that into Liverpool in midweek, yes, there'll be changes because it's the League Cup. But if they can take that into Liverpool, get some sort of positive result against Liverpool, but then more importantly, when they come back to the next Premier League game is Tottenham now. There's a few cup games in between that, obviously, but the next Premier League game is away at Tottenham. That is such a massive game for Arsenal. If they can perform like they did yesterday at Tottenham and get the points at White Hart Lane or Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, whatever you call that place down the Seven Sisters, it'd just be a huge result. And I just feel like yesterday's performance will give that team an awful lot of confidence, because they now know they are more than capable of competing, not just in the best team in the country, but probably the best team in Europe at the moment. And they went toe to toe with him yesterday, and they more than matched him. And I think they can take some real positives from that. And so for me, I look at it and I just think Arsenal. I just see Arsenal as a team that are on the up right now. I can see a team forming in front of our eyes, a young team. There's going to be ups and downs. They're going to lose games, just because of the nature of the beast of the Premier League and the quality teams around them and how young they are. But there is a team forming right in front of our eyes, I think. And, I'm really, for the first time in a long time, I'm really positive about Arsenal and about the direction that they're going. And you hope, whatever happens between the end of now and the end of the season, they can really give themselves a good go at getting themselves at least a European spot, but potentially in the top four, because they've given them a chance of that. But then also next season, after another summer transfer window, I just think that, there could be a real special Arsenal team in the making here, and that is a good thing, because that's what we all want. And so, yeah, we'll wait and see. So quite nice to actually feel a little bit positive after a defeat, which isn't always the case. I just wanted to talk about Thomas Partey now. It's such a shame this. How good was he yesterday? I mean, what a performance from Thomas Partey. I still think that's the best performance we've seen from him in an Arsenal shirt. He was brilliant at Man United when he first signed in that win at Old Trafford. But yesterday was an absolute monster all over the pitch. I mean, that first hour, he was just unbelievable. And even beyond that hour, he was still, and he looked really fit, and that's a good thing. Even towards the end, in the last 15, 20 minutes, he was taking the ball and carrying it and running long distances. And he just looked really fit, and it was just a really encouraging performance from Partey. That's the type of performance we were all expecting to see from him pretty much week in, week out since he arrived, because that's what we've known from him at Atletico Madrid. It was just a monstrous performance from Thomas. It's so frustrating now that just as he gets himself fit, healthy, in form, he's got to go to AFCON. I mean, obviously it's a massive thing for Ghana and for Thomas Partey, so good luck to him. I hope he goes out and does really well. But from an Arsenal point of view, obviously it's frustrating that we're now going to lose him just as he's bang on form. And I think certainly you'd want him in that Tottenham game. Absolutely, desperately want him for that Tottenham game. It's going to be a blow, and Arsenal are going to have to work out how you replace him now. It's going to be Xhaka and another. It's just a case of then who's it going to be? Is Sambi, who seems to be sort of gone out in the cold a little bit for one reason or another? It's a typical Mikel Arteta thing. Players seems to suddenly go be bang in the frame in a team, and then bang, he's out the picture altogether for a while. So Sambi seems to have fallen down the pecking order a little bit, and Mohamed El-Neni came on again yesterday. What is Mikel going to do? Are you going to try and fit? Could you potentially bring Emil Smith-Rowe in as well, and basically have all 5-year kind of attackers on the pitch at the same time? We saw him try that before. I think it was the game against Palace, wasn't it? It didn't quite work. But that is clearly an option that he's considering, because we've seen him do it before. So it'll be interesting to see how Arsenal do replace Thomas Partey. But I think it's pretty clear from that performance yesterday that he is going to be a big miss in the coming weeks. And it's just so frustrating that just as he hit top form, that he seems to be going away, because that was up there with that was a proper midfield performance from Thomas Partey yesterday, and that is a real bonus for Arsenal. And his midfield partner, as usual, is the centre of an awful lot of controversy. And look, I've had a go at Granit Xhaka time and time again since he's arrived at Arsenal. I said in the summer they should have got rid of him. It was a perfect opportunity to finally move on from Granit Xhaka. They chose not to. For some reason, they gave him a new contract, but he's still in the team. I've got to say, I thought Xhaka played very well yesterday, and I'm going to defend Granit Xhaka. I still don't think that's a penalty. I know a lot of people do. I've watched Match of the Day last night. They said it was a penalty. I'm just not having it. It was Bernardo Silva. It's just a dive. I look at it every time, and he just dies. Yes, Xhaka grabs a bit of his shirt, but he's already falling to the floor at that point. There's no way the shirt pull puts him over or anything like that. He brings his leg away, and Bernardo just goes over it. It's just a die. He doesn't need to fall over. And I know people say, oh, he gave the referee a decision to make. Maybe so, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to give a penalty. I think when you look at it and you slow it down and you watch it 50 times on replay, then maybe. But the fact that the referee didn't give it in real time, for me, I don't see how you can overturn that on VAR. And I just don't think it was a penalty. And for once, I'm going to defend Granit Xhaka here. And it doesn't happen all the time. But I think, people have been jumping on the bandwagon again, saying, oh, this is what you get with Granit Xhaka. And I understand that because he's done it time and time again. There's been incidents. But I just don't think he was that much to blame for that one yesterday. I just think it was Bernardo absolutely conned the referee. Well, he didn't even con the referee because the referee didn't give it. He won the penalty. And I don't think it was a penalty. I have to admit. So I'm defending Granit a little bit on this one. I don't think he deserves to be absolutely lambasted like he normally does when he makes a mistake. So I'm not gonna pile on Granit after that one. I have to admit. Obviously Gabriel, that was a rush of blood. I mean, I think he'll know now that he made a big mistake yesterday. In doing that, you could see he'd lost his head. I was actually typing. It all happened so quickly. I remember I was typing a tweet that I was going to send saying Arsenal need to calm down here. Gabriel's just been booked for complaining. You can see they're all losing their heads over this. But before I could even send it, I had to delete it because I had to tweet about the goal line clearance and the Gabriel Martinelli's open goal miss. And then by the time I'd even finished that tweet, Gabriel had been sent off. So it all happened so quickly I couldn't even do it. But you could just see Gabriel's head had gone. And obviously Albert Stuyvenberg was talking yesterday after and said, look, he didn't swear at the referee for the first booking or anything like that. The referee just booked him, which may be so. But even then, when he had the yellow card, you just don't need to go charging into Gabriel Jesus like that, the way he did from that goal kick after the miss from Gabriel Martinelli. And he got himself sent off. It was stupid. It was a rush of blood. He'd lost his head. And it is just what young players are going to do. And I think for in terms of Gabriel, he's still young. You got to accept that, even though he's an absolute monster. In terms of his build, you kind of forget he's so young because he's such a big lad. But it was a costly error from him now, and he's going to be suspended. People have been asking me about the suspension. It is just going to be a one-game ban because he was sent off for 2 yellow cards. So he'll miss the first leg against Liverpool. Whether he would have played in that, I don't know. Probably he might not have done. But I think Rob Holding certainly start that one, and then it'll be interesting. Maybe Ben White will start it as well. It'll be White and Holding as the centre backs. We'll have to wait and see. But Gabriel, he'll be missing no Premier League games. Obviously, he won't miss any of that because Arsenal then have FA Cup after that, and then the second game against Liverpool, and then they go return to Premier League action against Tottenham. So that's that's how many games Gabriel will miss. Just the one. And before I go, just a little bit of some transfer rumours doing around at the moment. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to Newcastle. That was a story that emerged in one. I think it was a Mirror last night. Published it at 10:30. It was obviously in the Sunday Mirror today, but it went online at 10:30 last night. Interesting one that. I mean, for Arsenal, I think we all know Auba's going to go. It's just a matter of when, not if. Now, personally, and I've said it before, I still think they need to patch things up with him, at least get through to the end of the season, because I don't see who you're going to commit, who you're going to sign in January. It's going to be very hard to get a striker in January. Certainly one as good as Aubameyang. For yes, he's struggling a bit this season, and his confidence is low, and you've got this added thing of falling out with a manager. But still, Auba will get your goals, and who are you going to sign in January, even if it's just a loan short-term option? The real players you're going to get at that point are players that clubs are willing to let go, and they're willing to let them go because A, they're probably not that good, or B, there's some sort of issue with them. So I'm just not sure. I think the best thing for Arsenal to do would be patch Auba up and patch things up with him, just get him through to the end of the season. Look, give us a couple more months, get some goals, and then we'll give you a move in the summer. But I mean, if Newcastle, which the report in the Mirror I think said loan with an option to buy for 20 million in the summer, if that is the case, then Arsenal could potentially get a sort of obligation to buy for 20 million in the summer, I think that would be very hard to turn down for Arsenal, because you're probably looking at Aubameyang, and most people are looking at it and thinking this is going to be another Ozil situation where perhaps you have to pay him up to leave because of the way things have unfolded. So if there is actually the offer or the chance of £20 million in the summer on the table for someone who's 32 and is being paid 350 grand a week, then just from a business perspective, you have to do that deal. But I mean, we'll wait and see whether this is just speculation or anything in it. It's the start of January transfer window now. There's going to be rumour, speculation all over the place. I haven't heard anything myself about Aubameyang and Newcastle. We'll wait to see if that starts getting reported elsewhere, and if there is actually some substance to it. But from now, I'm just looking at it more as speculation. In terms of other players, I mean, it was interesting that Balogun wasn't on the bench yesterday with Nketiah out with COVID. Whether that means that a loan deal for Balogun is pretty much wrapped up already, I would suggest it probably does, because they've been working for a good few weeks now to get this deal done and get Balogun out on loan. So we'll have to wait and see exactly where it is. I still think loan to a championship club would be best for him. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see what happens with Eddie Nketiah as well. But obviously he's out with COVID at the moment, so we wish Eddie all the best. All right, everyone, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate your time as always. Quite a positive video despite an Arsenal defeat. It's quite a nice thing to do. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, please do, and thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you very soon.